Hello, welcome to another podcast, A Time to Heal. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about common health problems within the Black community. And in fact, I was given a question and I was asked, what are the top three health challenges within the Black community? And I gave it some thought and also did a little bit of research. But it's really common knowledge in the healthcare profession and healthcare community that the top three health challenges for adults in the African American community: number one, hypertension; number two, diabetes; and number three, kidney failure. Now, the thing about these three conditions, it's like they, in a way, you can sort of call them running buddies. They have so many things that are in common, the contributing factors and also complications, things that they have in common. But even as I talk about this, as I was speaking to my producer about this show, I had to admit that it's really kind of heartbreaking to me to talk about this and to address it. I know it's very, very important, but I'm so passionate about it and I love my people so much until it is just really heart-wrenching because the numbers are not improving. They have not improved. And I can remember these same kinds of numbers when I was in nursing school in the 1970s. And here we are today, still facing the same problems. As a matter of fact, they're worse. So I just wanted to look at some of the statistics just a little bit. I'm not going to run into a lot of heavy numbers today, but just kind of brush on it a little bit, touch on it a little bit. Hypertension, we know that that's high blood pressure. But do you know that within the African American community in the United States, 54% have hypertension or high blood pressure? And it's showing up now at a younger age than ever before. Then with hypertension, the patient is at risk for the complications: heart attack, heart disease, strokes, a shortened lifespan. It's just tragic. And you know what? We have got to do something about this. Not only do we have to, we must and we can. Now that's the bright side. There are things that can be done to turn this around. We do not have to continue on this trajectory. And it's why Alpha Wellness exists. This is why I do the work that I do, because we have to join forces to make a difference in our community and not just say, oh, woe is me, or this is our lot in life. We have the power to turn it around. We have the power to change it. And we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our children. We owe it to our grandchildren to change this thing, and we can. So hypertension is number one. Number two, diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is so prevalent in the African American community that the average Black person is 54% more likely to have diabetes than their white counterpart. I hope you heard that. 54% more likely to have diabetes. And diabetes is a dreadful chronic disease, and the complications are horrific. A person being at risk for painful neuropathy, amputation of limbs from toes to feet to legs, heart attack, kidney failure. And going blind, the loss of eyesight is also another complication. So the list just goes on and on. So the third one is kidney disease, kidney failure. Now, ironically, the two main causes of kidney failure are hypertension and diabetes. So, it's almost like a setup. It is a chronic complication of those two common health issues within the African American community. I want to quote you a couple of statistics in regards to kidney failure. In the Black community, we're told that We make up 13% of the overall population in the United States. 13%. But do you know that when it comes to kidney disease, African Americans make up 35% of all cases of kidney failure in the United States? I mean, the numbers are just absolutely staggering, and it's heartbreaking to think that this dreaded disease, which so often, you know, cuts short the lifespan of patients who suffer with it, that it is so prevalent within the African American community. So, as I told you at the very beginning, these three common health problems are just heartbreaking as far as I'm concerned, but it's not all bad news. The good news is that we can do something about this. It's not something that we have no control over. In fact, we have lots of control over these diseases. They can actually be reversed, they can actually be turned around. But what we have to do is to make a decision, make up our mind that it is something that we need to do and that we want to do. Find the reason that motivates you. Think about your life, living out the fullness of your days that God has promised you. Think about your family, how you want to and need to be here to support your children and your grandchildren. There are reasons for us to live and to live long and to live healthy lives. So, the main problems with these common diseases, the main problem, it really all boils down to lifestyle and lifestyle choices, the food that we eat, um, the stress that we endure and not managing the stress. There are techniques that can be used to reduce the stress and reduce hypertension, reverse diabetes, and prevent kidney failure. So these are the things that I wanted to bring to your attention on today. And I want to encourage you to learn the things that you need to learn. Don't just give up. Learn the things that you need to learn in order to be able to take control over these common health problems and to prevent them and to reverse them. You know, when you really stop and think about it, it can really be very exciting to know that it is within our control to turn this around and to change the outcomes and to make a huge impact and a huge difference in our community. You know, one of the things we have to do, where we can really start, really, is to get in line with God's word. It's amazing how his word just has the answer and the solution to everything, really, even to this problem. Oh, why would you say that? What are you thinking about? Why would you make a statement like that? Some of you may be saying or asking. I say it because when we look in the Bible, do you realize that one of the first things that God does when he's dealing with Adam and Eve in the garden, the very first thing he does is to begin to talk about their diet and their food. And he said, of every tree that is in the garden, and that meant like the tree and the vegetation, every tree that's in the garden you may freely eat. He said, except for that one tree that was forbidden. But just think about it. It's the things that grow in the garden, the fruit trees, the fresh vegetables that we can freely eat. And when we do, it nourishes our body. Real food nourishes the body and helps the body to heal itself. It gives us the fuel, it gives the body the building blocks that it needs to repair itself, to replenish and renew, restore itself. So it really starts with what we put in our mouth. We have to kind of change some of the ways that we think about food, changing our attitude, correcting cultural mistakes. You know, some of us, well, as a people, some of our dietary choices, things that we eat, especially I'm thinking about holidays. And do I really need to go there and mention it? Yeah, I will. Chitterlings, one of the mainstays of our holiday meals. But when you stop and think about it, us eating chitterlings as a choice given to our people when we were in slavery. And we found a way to make it taste good to us, acquired a taste for it, and continue to let that be a part of our cultural diet that we pass from one generation to the next. And there isn't anything good in that choice of food. And so it is with so many other things as well. So making these corrections, making these changes, changing our attitudes, and teaching our children and our grandchildren to do the same, that will go a long way and have a major impact on changing the outcome and reducing the prevalence of these dreadful diseases. So that's what we have for you today. These are the most common health challenges, and these are just the tip of the iceberg, the things that we can do to make a difference. We're going to be talking about it quite a bit in the future, going into greater details on things that you can do, that we can do to make a difference in our community and to strengthen our people so that we can live long, vibrant, healthy lives. And I want to encourage you to check out my website. You can find it at www.alphawellnessstl.com. Okay, leave me a message, leave me your email address, and definitely I will reach out to you and be in contact with you. And we're going to work together to make a difference in our community. Why? Because it is a time to heal.